We are in conversation with our dearest Baman sir. Yes, Mr. Baman Bharucha, who will walk us through the evolution of his family practice. In this series of videos, we bring to you success stories of optometrists across the globe with the hope that it will help inspire and fill with enthusiasm the budding generation of optometrists. In today's video, we will be looking at the history of A. Dinshaw and Co. And we are in conversation with our dearest Baman sir. Yes, Mr. Baman Bharucha, who will walk us through the evolution of his family practice in this video. And in the coming few videos, he will share pearls of wisdom for students and practice management tips for practitioners, all from his vast experience in the field of optometry. A. Dinshaw & Co. was set up in the 1830s, and since then it has evolved into a high-tech eye care facility. It offers a variety of services. They have a wide range of premium quality lenses, frames, including an in-house facility for cutting, edging, and preparing the final pair of glasses. They also dispense high-end progressive glasses with the help of latest equipments. It has a well-equipped contact lens clinic with trained optometrists to guide and educate the contact lens wearers. A vision therapy clinic equipped with the latest instruments and softwares ensures that binocular vision anomalies do not go unnoticed and are given appropriate care. There is a dedicated facility for a detailed corneal topography, with the help of which they can map your cornea precisely and manage your condition accurately. The facility also has a full-fledged LASIK setup, which means if in the end you are not satisfied with your glasses or contact lenses, the option of getting rid of them permanently is just a floor away. This unique practice has it all. But all of this was not there on day one. Years of efforts have been put into building the trust that permeates every aspect of this practice. The humility, dedication, resilience, uprightness, and the mode of learning with which everyone here functions is truly inspirational and compelled us to bring this heartwarming story out for you to view and get inspired from. Without further ado, let us begin our conversation with Baman sir. First time my foot fell into Dinshaw was when I was a student, and I was myself doing my bachelor's from E.Y. Patil, and we had a very concise but very to the point session. We went through a lot of, we got to see frames that we had never seen, we had only seen in books. There were so many procedures that we could practically observe, so it began from then. And I have time and again been able to observe how Dinshaw has grown. And it's not the same as 10 years ago. I am sure it has undergone such a huge transformation over these 180 years. So I was just wondering, sir, if you could talk a little about how it started, what the journey was like throughout these years.
See, as far as memories go, basically we started business around about the 1700th century, and it came through as more into jewelry and watch making, clock making, and clock repairing. So opticianry that time was a very small part of a science which was not even developed. People used to just give glasses to read and to see. And this store has seen everything that could be associated with an optical practice. Right from, as far as memory goes, they used to first polish stones and look at it for magnification. And then came the monocle. You used to wear this one piece on your eye and try to see. You could have seen it in old English movies and even in Hindi movies. Then came the Gandhi type of frames made of ivory, frames made of wood. It's not something new, it has always existed. It's just that it faded off after some time and then it came back again. So this store has seen all that. Then we were also very, very close to the Britishers, and we used to service them a lot. especially as this was declared a cantonment area during that time. So we had a lot of clientele and high-end people from the British Army and from the civil services also used to take our spectacle and watch repairing, watchmaking services. And from there, fortunately or unfortunately, my grandfather became a freedom fighter, and then for a few years our store was closed because we were a band family here, because of our indulgence in the independence war. And my grandmother had to look after about 8 children without any money, because my grandfather was put in jail and then brought back in a dilapidated condition. And it was after that, slowly that my uncle started doing milk business and my other uncle became an electrical engineer. Then there's another part of the history to it, but eventually my father reopened the store or recommissioned the store again, somewhere around about the 40s. And we started doing more of watch work. And we used to get timepieces earlier. You see them, we used to make a clanging sound, the whole neighbor used to get up if you put a 5 o'clock alarm. So we used to have that sort of a setup, and we used to do a lot of work in repairing clocks, chiming clocks, etc. But as time went by and I got more interested into the optical part, then that slowly died off. Didn't concentrate much on that, though I should have. As time kept on going by, my dad started getting old and I started coming in. Then it so happened that there was an optometry course associated with, started by late Naval Paliwala at Municipal Eye Hospital, Kamatipura, where my dad knew Mr. Paliwala very well. So we went and spoke to him. But our course was very primitive. We didn't have teachers and we did not have any formal education on optometry. But the advantage there was, which I find missing in many colleges today, was that we had a phenomenal OPD.
Our conversation with Baman sir will continue in our next video. He will further share from his pool of knowledge some guidance for students which will motivate them to excel and become proficient optometrists.